Hello everyone, my name is Michelle Pao. I'm 17 years old and I was born and raised in Imphal. I finished my schooling from St. Anthony's School, Chingmarong. I'm a fond reader and I consider myself as a hardworking person who sets goals and works hard to achieve that goal. I'd like to thank Girl Up Khonjel for taking up the initiative to organize this speech competition, bringing to our attention the very theme of victim blaming in Manipur. Today, under this theme, I'll be speaking on the topic empowering the oppressed is not just giving power to the oppressed but educating the oppressors. But before we dive into that, I'd like to first give an explanation of what exactly is victim blaming for better understanding of the audience at large. Let us assume that you're walking on a busy street. Then you get home and you realize that your wallet has been stolen, so you tell someone about it. How could you be so careless? How couldn't you pay more attention to your wallet? Well, that is a very probable response from the person. Okay, here's another scenario. Let's say that you're walking on the same busy street, and this time you're so anxious about losing your wallet, you're determined to keep it safe, your whole attention is on the wallet. Then suddenly a motorcycle pulls up from the wrong side and you get hit. You get home and you tell someone about it. How could you not be careful on the street? Where was your attention? Where were you even looking? That's another most probable response. Well, that, my friends, is a very basic example of victim blaming. In both the situations, we see that people did not try to understand the plight of the victim, but instead they outrightly starts questioning the victim's behavior, what he or she did or didn't do. And in this way, victim blaming occurs when the victim of a crime is held entirely or partially responsible for the harm that befell them. It's unrealistic, it's unreasonable, it's really something to wonder upon. Why would anyone blame the victim of a crime? Sadly, this is becoming a common phenomenon here in our state. Here in Manipur, victim blaming due to COVID-19 is also on the rise. But why is that? Because people want someone to vent their anger upon. It's hard to be angry at the virus itself. Therefore, they have this belief that everything will be fine, the virus will go away, as long as people don't make poor decisions and they stay put in their homes. Therefore, they start blaming the sick for being careless. However, what we need to realize here is that individuals in these cases, they aren't being reckless. Maybe the living and working conditions have compelled them to go out to earn to sustain their livelihood. Yes, we must be careful at all times. However, it would be wrong to outrightly blame a person for getting sick. Victim blaming also asserts its dominance in courtrooms, where lawyers argue that the victims are at fault. In domestic violence cases, well, such cases are often buried and they remain unspoken of, but it is most predominantly seen in sexual assault cases. In sexual assault cases, the victims are somehow made to believe that they are responsible for what happened to them. This is because they are bombarded with questions like, what were you wearing? What were you doing out so late? Why didn't you come forward sooner? Also, many victims might prefer not to speak up about the crime because if they do, they will only be yet another victims of the scornful looks of society. Their character will be judged and they may even be ostracized from the society. However, if their voices continue to be suppressed, when will this vicious cycle of the victims getting oppressed over and over again and the oppressors roaming freely end? Here in Manipur, only during the COVID-19 lockdown, 22 women, including 16 minors, were raped, and I believe that there are many others who are too afraid to speak up. If such vicious acts continue to strive in our society, what will become of our society? What will become of our state? Therefore, we need to realize that it is the need of the hour to educate the masses on importance of empowering the oppressed. It's high time that we encourage them to take a stand for themselves, that we actually listen to their voice and we make the victims realize that they are also precious human beings who has the right to lead meaningful, respectable and safe lives. Why should the why should the oppressed be empowered? Because it is only right for the powerful to empower others too. We humans, as social beings, must uplift each other and rise to power together. Empowering the oppressed is not just about giving power to the oppressed. In fact, it in many ways educates the oppressors, as it brings about their wrongdoings, their actions, which in most cases they tend to ignore because they believe that they are the superior ones, they are the powerful ones, and there is no one that can give them a proper punishment for their deeds. that can hold them accountable for their deeds. There's this trend among the oppressors. They play this game of divide and rule. They somehow gaslight the victims, they cloud their judgment, and they make them believe that they're mere victims whose condition will only be worsened if they speak up about the crime. However, what if this situation is reversed? What if the victims start to speak up about the crime? And consequently, what if the oppressors are given the correct punishment that they deserve? I believe that if it is so, it would be a whole different Manipur. If the victims start to fight for what is right, and consequently, if the oppressors are given the punishment, maybe they will one day feel the same fear that they instill in their victims. Maybe they will be able to reflect their actions and realize how wrong their actions have been. Maybe they'll be filled with guilt. Maybe they'll change for the better. If so, then the streets of Manipur would be so much safer, the crime rates would go down, and Manipur would be a very safe state for all of us, for all gender groups, for all age groups. Also, it would be a catalyst to the development of the state. This is how much benefit empowering the oppressed would give us, to our society, to our state. Hence, let us help in whatever way that we can. If you are among the oppressed group of people, please don't be afraid to speak up. You're not alone. If you are among the oppressors, please change for the better. There's a whole beautiful world out there for you to explore. Behind prison bars is not a very great place to be. And if you're not among the mentioned groups, then please do not judge, but instead render your help in whatever way that we can. Be kind and have compassion, because we are humans and that's what humanity stands for. Thank you very much.